and welcome to the F&O Show on Bloomberg Quint Live, India's first digital live streaming business news service. I'm Chaturmohta. Good morning, Agam.
Good morning, Darshan. I'm Agam Vakil. Here are the headlines. Indian markets trade marginally higher ahead of the March expiry, led by gains in tech stocks. Tata Motors is the top Nifty loser after S&P downgrades credit ratings. Open interest in Titan falls after traders take fresh short positions in its futures. Heineken increases its stake in United Breweries by nearly 3%, buying Vijay Mallya's stake pledged with banks. SEBI defers implementation of revised norms for a royalty payment to related parties by 3 months.
Let's take a look at what the markets are doing, and we're trading pretty much close to the day's highest point. The last session has been good for the markets. We are above the 10,520 mark in trade. That's where the Nifty futures are. We are up almost 60 points. Let's pull up the Nifty Bank and see the traction that we're seeing. The rollovers are at 59% for the Nifty. Pull up the Nifty Bank and see what kind of traction that is seeing. That is also up above and holding about the 30,000 mark in trade. Where are positions being taken? On the call side, you can see that put writers are much more active. If you see in today's trade, again, at 10,500 to high levels, there is resistance that will come in. Put writers are very active at the 11,400 mark in trade. Where are positions taken today? Today, the put writers will be much more active at 11,400 and 11,500. So it seems that market probably will be in that range bound, but as of today, the trend seems to be on the positive side. Agam, what are you spotting?
Right, Darshan, let's talk about the stocks which are seeing a surge in OI. I reckon there won't be too many considering today's expiry. But, among the few, we do have Torrent Pharma, Equitas Holding and BHEL standing out. But let's talk about the stocks which are seeing unwinding too in today's day of trade. So we have M&M Financial, again NHPC, Godrej Consumers. I think there is some mistake in some of these plates, so we'll have to perhaps resort to your other names. But we will be watching out for several other counters. Of course, right at the top is counters like Torrent Pharma and NHPC. But what are the other stocks that we will be discussing today?
Yeah, so basically, let's take a look at the stocks that we want to discuss in today's trade. That actually starts with a couple of stocks which are doing well in trade. Dewan Housing Finance is something that is seeing traction, was one of the top F&O gainers in trade. I think a lot of vehicle finance companies have managed to move back over the past few days. Shriram Transport did well, and not even them, the other NBFCs like an L&T Finance also managed to move back. M&M Finance managed to move back. Weak commentary coming in by Escorts at the Credit Suisse conference. There is, traction and ahead of the auto sales numbers. What should one do with Escorts? NBCC has been doing well of late, getting a lot of orders. So what's the trend ahead? HCL Tech, the big BOFA upgrade that came out. Z Entertainment will always be volatile ahead of any kind of corporate announcement that could possibly come in. And Yes Bank has been seeing a lot of positive traction of late. Private sector banks, be it an IndusInd Bank, Kotak Bank or Yes Bank, or the old and trusted HDFC Bank, which led the Nifty Bank rally, all of them are doing well. What's the sense that that's something that we want to talk about? But before we get our guest on the show, here's a reminder: if you have any queries regarding the futures and option market, you can call us on 02245404141 or write to us on Twitter, Facebook with the AskPQ hashtag.
All right, on that note, let's get in our experts for the day. We have Ashish Chaturmohta of Sanctum Wealth and Sneha Seth of Angel Broking joining us on the show. Good morning to both of you, and thank you so much for joining us. Ashish, let me begin with you. How are you viewing trade? Are you looking at positive cues developing further from your own?
Good morning, Agam. So yes, I think yesterday we saw some kind of profit booking from higher end of the range. But if you look at clearly from the data perspective, we are still witnessing a lot of puts being written around 11,300 to 200 odd zone, and that gives us a very, very strong support that any dip you are going to see a lot of buying interest coming into the market. VIX has anyways cooled off, and if you look at the put call ratio, it's in a range of 1.49 to 1.5, which is a comfortable zone. And if you look at in terms of rollovers, we have seen 58% rollovers in Nifty, but Bank Nifty particularly has seen lower rollovers to around in a range of 50%. So I think there is some kind of positivity in the entire NBFC and the financials basket, and that is and this basket itself has a very very strong contribution at an index level. So I think broadly 11,420-430 is going to be a key support for the market, and I'm expecting index to cross 11,650 kind of zone in next couple of few trading sessions. The strategy would be to initiate a long position, keep 11,440 as a trading stop loss in Nifty for an upside target of 11,650 zone.
Okay.
Okay, that's the sense that Ashish is getting. Sneha, good morning. What's the sense that you're getting in as far as the benchmarks are concerned? What are you advising clients?
Good morning. If you look at the March series completely, we have seen decent amount of long formation since the beginning of the series. And looking at the rollovers, I believe these positions are being rolled too. If you look at the FIs inflow coming in throughout the series, in fact in last series also they have been net buyers in cash segment, and in a future segment also they have been adding long. The long short ratio has also jumped up near 63%, which is a positive indication. So looking at the overall data as of now, I believe the momentum shall continue towards the recent highs, and probably we can head towards the lifetime high going ahead. So one should prefer adding longs on dips, and those traders who wish to trade for a day or for a week, they can buy 11,550 call option now, because 11,500 we are already trading above 11,500. So one can buy 11,550 call option for the target of 140, 150, and a stop loss should be 45er.
Okay, well, so Sneha's recommendation here is to buy the 11,550 call. Her initial recommendation was 11,500, but we're clearly above that mark. So she has suggested that you go ahead and buy a call option of a higher strike. But moving on to some of these stocks then, Ashish, coming back to you, what stocks would you like and look interesting to you today?
So I think this consumer discretionary is looking very interesting, and within this basket the entire set of F&O stocks. Let's discuss about Voltas and V-Guard. There we have seen a complete strong long positions being rolled over to the April series, and if you look at in terms of reverse data also, it's very, very high in terms of cost of carry also, so which clearly indicates longs are dominating this trade. V-Guard and Voltas both are looking promising. Voltas, I think this could be initiated as a buy with a stop below 618. In a shorter term, I'm expecting stock to hit 650 kind of zone, and V-Guard has given a fresh breakout after consolidating for last couple of few weeks. So I think this could be initiated as a buy idea. 222 would be trading stop loss for an upside target of 240, and positionally I think 245, 246 is what one can expect in V-Guard in next couple of few trading sessions. Asian Paints is also looking very promising. Heavy buildup of long position in stock, is consistently trading near its 52-week high, so that's a very healthy sign. We have seen how Pidilite behaved in last 2-3 trading sessions. That's the same kind of momentum or trade one can expect in even in Asian Paints. So I think this is a buy. 1465 would be my trading stop loss for an upside target of 1540 zone.
Okay, that's the view. I believe you have a strategy on DCB Bank also.
Yeah.
Is that something that you have?
So here, why we like DCB, if you look at in terms of the stock which has seen the highest rollover, it is DCB Bank. And if you look at again, the stock is hovering around its 52-week high. And if you look at from a longer term technical pattern, it is trading near its 2 years of high after consolidating for 2 years. We are seeing this highs coming in, and that's a trend we witnessed in RBL Bank couple of days before, and we see how this stock has how that stock has performed well. So I think DCB Bank going forward in the month of April series, I'm expecting stock to cross its all-time high zone and can target somewhere around 215 kind of zone. In a shorter term, one can keep 198 as a trading stop loss for an upside target of 215.
Okay, that's the view that's coming in. Sneha, what's the sense that you're getting? I believe you also have a long call on Voltas.
Yes, Voltas looks very good. In fact, if we see, this stock has a falling trend line resistance around 625, 627. And I believe looking at the recent volumes and the overall price action, I believe we will surpass this levels soon. And in fact, we are trading above that only. So one can buy Voltas for the target of 654 and a stop loss of 615.
And the other stock you have as a recommendation is TCS, Sneha.
Today, if you look, the IT pack is doing quite good, and from that I like TCS because this stock has if we look at the monthly chart, the stock has not done much in this series, hardly up by 1.5% or so. So now if we look at the daily chart, we are seeing this stock taking resistance near the rising trend line, and now possibility is there that we can head towards 2060, 2070 zone. So one can go long in this counter with a stop loss of 1960 and for the target of 2060.
Okay, let's discuss some of the stocks which are doing well in today's trade. Pull up Dewan Housing. It's been doing well. It was one of the top gainers as far as the morning trade is concerned. It's up almost 5% today. What's the sense? Is there traction in going ahead with the stock? Ashish, Dewan Housing, would you recommend accumulating at this level? It's up 5%.
So there can be a strong pullback because heavy short buildup was being witnessed, and now it is crossing last 3 weeks of high. And whenever these kind of trend gets emerges, we see a lot of short covering, and I think this is going to be a clear short covering candidate where upside targets of 150, 155 is what one can expect. On downside, I think today's low, which is around 136, would be your trading stop loss, but this should be considered purely as a very short term trading punt, and one should follow very strict stop loss of 136 on downside.
Okay, well, moving on, let's also address what's happening with HCL Technologies. Well, earlier this morning, we had a brokerage note which had upgraded HCL Technologies, Bank of America Merrill Lynch to be precise, and they are suggesting a little bit of an upturn in, well, the fortunes of the company, at least on a fundamental basis. It's currently at 1,075. I would perhaps take up HCL Technologies with Sneha, but before I do that, let's take a look at how it's done over the last 2 months, or a month, or perhaps the last 3 months, and see how it's fared, because while we have seen some volatility in the entire IT pack, HCL Technologies has moved up and gained as much as 12%. Of course, the volatility is largely on account of the rupee strengthening against the US dollar. But Sneha, coming to you on HCL Technologies, how is the futures and options trend looking based on the technical reading that you have?
If you look at the daily chart from last 2 days, we are seeing decent up move in this counter. Possibility is there that it can continue its up move towards 1100, 1120 levels. So one can go long with the stop loss of yesterday's low. That is around around 9,040. One can keep a stop loss of that.
Okay, that's the view that's coming in. Shriram Transport is the other stock that we want to talk about. A couple of these NBFCs are doing well in trade. Sneha, Shriram Transport, it's up 3% in today's trade. At this level, would you accumulate, or would you wait for a lower level to accumulate, or you would avoid this counter?
As of now, this counter has a resistance near today's high zone, like towards 1290, 1280. That is the resistance zone. So as of now, at current levels, I won't look to enter. If we see any move above that, then possibly we can re-enter at the breakout levels.
Ashish, what's your sense on Shriram Transport? Does it look good to you? And also want a sense on Bajaj Finance that crossed the lifetime high in trade yesterday, right. but it cooled off at the end of the day. What's the sense that the cues are indicating on Bajaj Finance?
So both trades are very different. So first of all, if you come to Shriram Transport, it is trading at 6 months high, and if you look at the rollovers which we are witnessing in the entire NBFC basket, that's very, very high. As I was mentioning that if you are going to see the strong momentum, it's going to come from financials and NBFC basket, and Shriram Transport particularly has seen very high OI addition also. So I think it's on a verge of a very, very strong breakout. More technically, I think stock is poised for a move towards 1380 to 1400 kind of zone. So this is a buy. I think on downside, one should keep 1248, 1250 as a trading stop loss for going long into Shriram Transport. Now, if you look at Bajaj Finance, this is a trend which is continuously in a strong momentum. You don't see any severe weakness into Bajaj Finance. Last time when we witnessed this kind of weakness in Bajaj Finance was only when you saw this entire NBFC collapse, which took place in September, October. But after that, it is consistently making an upward move. And if you look at both Bajaj Finance and Finserv, both are showing a strong trend, and I think poised for a strong up move. Bajaj Finance, technically, we are expecting targets around 3200 odd zone. Again, very high OI addition, and if you look at rollovers, they are quite good. Keep 2940 as a trading stop loss for Bajaj Finance. And as far as Bajaj Finserv is concerned, 6940 is going to be a key support in Bajaj Finserv. On upside, 7250, 7300 is what one can expect in Bajaj Finserv as well.
All right. Well, from there, let's move on and talk about Yes Bank. Now, the thing with Yes Bank is that of late it's been very strong. It has been moving up in tandem with the other banks, but for this one, considering it has seen such a volatile last half of the previous year, and since then it has moved up. It's up 18% right now. The other crucial aspect, or perhaps the element, is that it has now made way and it is above its 200 daily moving average, perhaps for the first time since August of 2018. So, well, some positive cues, at least as far as technicals are concerned, is up 50% over on the 3-month basis as well. Sneha, what was your observation on Yes Bank? That's one. And second is, would you initiate fresh long positions at these levels? How is your risk-reward ratio looking?
Yes Bank looks good, and we are seeing index this counter surpassing the 200 daily moving average in the daily chart. We expect it to rally. We expect it to rally towards 300 levels. So any dip can be an opportunity to go long. One can keep a stop loss of yesterday's low, that is 254, 256. Those levels can be kept as a stop loss for the target of 300, 310.
Okay, Escorts is the next stock that we want to talk about. In the Credit Suisse conference, Escort didn't give the most of the positive guidance. The counter is trading slightly weak. It's down 1.5%. Sneha, would you believe that there is more potential downside in Escorts going ahead?
See, Escorts, if we see the daily chart, we are seeing a rising trend line, which is because of which there is a resistance around 330, 320 zone. So unless we don't unless we are trading below that, one can go ahead and short this counter for the target of around 780 or so, 780, 770.
Okay. I also wanted to address what's going on with Zee Entertainment, because again, it's another stock which is volatile, and well, so there's some confusing cues coming in. The thing with Zee Entertainment is that we also get queries every now and then as to whether or not we should long or short Zee Entertainment based on the technical cues that we see of late. Now, the thing with Zee Entertainment, again, at least over the last 1 month, it's down as much as 8%. And while there is a lot of news which is out of the way, it does continue to trend downwards. Ashish, any strategy on this one?
No, I think trend is missing, and but there will be in between bounces and some profit booking. But when the trend is completely in a sideways trend, I generally avoid those kind of trades. As far as levels, I think around 410 you have got a reasonable support in the stock. Till 410 is not breached, you can expect some kind of pullback coming from lower end of the range. But technically, till it doesn't crosses above 450, 460 zone, you are not going to really see decisive up move coming in the stock. So I think that range is a little broad from 410 to 450. That's a huge range, but that's how it has been trading, and it's better to avoid because we are seeing a lot of other names which are showing clear strong uptrend. So I would stick to names like Voltas, Viga, DCB Bank, and avoid something like Zee at this point of time.
Right.
What about NBCC? That's another counter which is not doing bad for itself over the past few days. Ashish, NBCC?
So I think it's just taking a little pause, but yes, it's technically quite good. And if you look at from the rollover perspective, NBCC, BEL, both these names are seeing some strong traction. So I think NBCC 62 is going to be a very, very strong support zone. Keep that as a trading stop loss. On upside, 70 to 72 could be a positional target one can expect in NBCC.
All right. Well, Ashish, it is expiry. If you could just give us an idea about how you're actually seeing rollovers pan out towards the long side or the short side, and how they compare to what we've seen or what we are used to over the previous few expiries.
So I think rollovers are quite good. If you look at 58% rollovers being witnessed in Nifty till yesterday, and around 50% in Bank Nifty. And if you look at in today's trading action, we are witnessing some positivity into the entire banking and financials. So I think if today you see a positive rollovers more on the banking side, this could be a positive indication. If you look at from the options matrix, clearly around 11,400 to 350, you are going to see a lot of support. And I think the way this entire positions are being built up, we can see a decent up move towards 11,650, 700 kind of zone. So I think keeping rollovers data in mind, I think there is a strong traction which is getting developed into the April series.
Okay, Sneha, we've discussed a lot of stocks. Anything else that's popping up on your screen that looks interesting?
Looking at the banking, which has done quite well. In PSUs, I'm liking Bank of Baroda as well. This counter has not performed yet, but I believe certainly we can see some positive move in this counter. So for a little bit longer term, I would say that you can go ahead and long Bank of Baroda for the target of around 140. And one can maintain a stop loss of around 115 to 112.
Ashish, the same question to you.
In the banking basket?
No, anything that stands out for you.
No. So I would stick to the ideas we have discussed. I think Voltas, V-Guard, TCB Bank, Asian Paints. These are looking still quite promising.
These are all positional. Today's expiry. Any expiry trade that
I think Canfin Homes, because here you are seeing a lot of positivity, and I think there can be a strong buying which could be witnessed in this stock if post 1:30 p.m. So I think with a very small stop loss of 337, this could be bought for an upside target of 356 zone.
You think expiry will be above the 11,500 mark today?
Yeah, I think. In fact, my belief is that in the last 1 hour of trade, you might see some strong short covering, which can take index to even maybe 11,530 to 550 kind of zone.
530, 550. So, same question. Anything expiry related trade that you can suggest for today, and where do you see the Nifty expiry today?
My view will be the same, that I expect Nifty to rally towards 11,550 zone. So any dip in intraday, one can buy 11,500 call option for today's expiry.
Okay, well, fair enough. And on that note, we have reached the conclusion of this show. So I'm going to take a moment to thank both our experts, Ashish and Sneha, for joining us and taking us through their views on the markets. For more updates on the F&O space, you can also check our website at bloombergquint.com. And on that note, it's a wrap on this edition of the F&O Show. But for more news and updates, stay tuned to Bloomberg Quint Live.